Hey, how's it going? I'm not bothering to notify people tonight. Um, we're going to be having some upcoming episodes with lots of guests, and one thing I know is when we have a lot of guests, like by a lot, I mean like two or three, those tend to run long. It's very hard to keep those short. So, in preparation of those, I'm just keeping these other ones relatively short. So if you notice, they haven't been too long lately, except for one time when some people um, came on and I stayed on a little extra. But I just want to check in and, you know, mention a couple things here and there. So, yeah, one thing we've started doing, and I thank you guys for this, we've told people to send us their favorite short clips if they don't mind making us short clips of their favorite live stream and podcast episodes. You can put clips of podcast episodes too, like your favorite 5 to 15 minute clips from the podcast, or even shorter. Someone gave us a 2.5 minute clip, and we've started posting that up on the channel. So if you notice, if you go to the videos section of the channel, you'll see about 4 or 5 short clips. And if you want to do the same, just send it to champagnesharks@gmail.com. So right there. If you want us to credit you also, just let us know and I didn't credit anyone because I don't know if I've made the mistake of crediting people that asking them, and some people want it, some people don't. So I let people tell me. So if you want to have a credit in the description, that's fine. Just let us know and we'll give you that credit. But yeah, send us clips of your favorite podcast clips to champagnesharks@gmail.com in the form of a Dropbox or a drive, and we'll put it up. And it'll be much appreciated. A lot of people here tonight. I never predict this stuff. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Oh, there's a lot. It's like, okay, it's falling down now. I think it's I can do a Periscope. I think when Periscope starts it, there's a lot there. So yeah, this Wall Street bets thing is funny. It's crazy to behold. Um yeah, but here's something I found interesting. Uh I swear I don't keep meaning to harp on this guy, but he keeps coming up on my radar because when I point out one thing about him, someone sends me something else. So we talked about Ibram Kendi getting the Netflix deal and everything, and then we talked about that middle managers symposium um he's doing, and along with Robert D'Angelo, I mean, he's really gotten into the anti-racist hustle with pushing anti-racist books and seminars and training programs and all this stuff. So he's also doing corporate speaking f- for organizations dedicated at improving life for Black executives and creating more Black executives and C-suites. Which I found like was a hell of a neoliberal goal. But this is interesting too. Twitter founder Jack Dorsey gives $10 million to new center fighting racism, and it says uh, a recently launched center devoted to studying and stamping out racism has received a $10 million donation from Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter and Square. The contribution to Boston University's Center for Anti-Racist Research was made through Dorsey's philanthropic venture Start Small, according to Dorsey's Twitter account and BU Today, a university publication. The center was founded less than 2 months ago by Ibram X. Kendi, a scholar renowned for his writing on the roots of racism and how to dismantle systems that have embedded inequities. This research will inform and fuel much needed and overdue policy change, Dorsey said in a tweet Thursday. I appreciate you, Dr. Kendi, and I'm grateful for your work. So, yeah, I mean, $10 million off the bat for something he created 2 months ago off of Jack Dorsey. I mean, it also kind of shows why it's good to network on Twitter and be a social justice influencer because by being a force on Twitter and tweeting, the founder himself might get on his radar, and if you're on his good side, then hey, more power to you. I mean, it worked for D-Ray. D-Ray had a lot of meetings with Jack Dorsey and everything and made friends with him, and you know, it really helped his brand too. You know, they that's him and Jack Dorsey. They have they're buds. Here's D-Ray, Jack Dorsey, and Colin Kaepernick. So they help him woke wash himself. So that's a good thing. But 10 million for something that was only existed for 2 months, and I'm putting a Google News alert for them so I can see, what pops up for that Center for Anti-Racist Research. Yeah, Jack Dorsey and DeRay McKesson, the story of unexpected friendship, right? And yeah, it's I mean, so a lot of this stuff is getting incentivized more than ever. It's fascinating. Yeah, so this is all a pretty. Oh, Zendi is speaking at Microsoft here in Richmond. Of course he is. Hey, Red Shrek, how's it going? BX, how you doing? DA, um, Sean Breezy, how you doing? How's it going, Harlow? Who's Calvin Best? I don't know. I also don't know what's your Andre Hart episode. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, he's got a very generic guy face. Yeah, but isn't that nuts? I saw that. I was like, whoa. Um, Here's some interesting stuff. I'm reading Obama's book for an episode, and it's painful. It's an easy breezy read, but it's just so lacking in substance. Um, but here's some stuff. Uh, so hold on. Hey, Chaotic Goods. Hey, Media Engagement Solutions. How y'all feeling? Um, usual spiel. If you enjoy what we do, hold on. This computer is acting funny for a second. Uh, Damn it. Am I buffering? Is everything okay? It's gonna close down again. This computer's freezing again. This thing's gonna. Okay. Oh, there we go. It didn't shut down. The computer was acting crazy. I thought it was gonna shut down, but it didn't, thankfully. So here we go. It just froze for a second. Um, I love this one. Obama is actually a sociopath. This is a tweet somebody put. He's really out here trying to frame the uprisings following George Floyd's murder as a new generation carrying on his legacy. Now, this came out in November 2020. When I was reading his book and it was so narcissistic, it made me remember. I was like, man, this guy gives himself credit for everything. And I think I remember him giving himself credit for the George Floyd uprising. So I looked it up, and yeah, he really did do that in the Washington Post Live. But check this out. Let me know if you can hear the sound.
What probably influenced the book as I was writing may have been a growing sense of optimism based on, for example, what happened this summer in the wake of the George Floyd murder, and seeing young people mobilize and activate themselves the way they did. It actually strengthened my conviction that, in fact, despite the backwards movement that my successor represented on things like climate change or voting rights or economic equity, that there was still this underlying forward motion that was going to be carried on by future generations that had been affected by my presidency and that would.
So affected by his presidency. So he was saying his presidency sparked the George Floyd things. That he just tries to put himself in everything.
Help lead us going forward. So if anything, I probably got more convinced about the story I was telling as a consequence of what I saw, particularly over the last year.
He's not only tying his legacy. He's not only tying his legacy to those George Floyd uprisings and everything, but he's also using it to sell his book. He's basically saying, those things really made me realize the importance of my book. Like, if you like those protests, you should check out my book. He's using the protests to plug his damn book. That's tacky as hell. Yeah, true influencer. Yeah, consummate wave rider. Yeah, so it was like when I was reading the book, and the self-importance is so ridiculous, and it started making me think of other examples of his self-importance that I remembered when he was promoting the book. Someone said Obama has written 3 books about himself with another to come, and they were saying, like, BX is saying, what has he been doing to how many books? Adrian Taylor's like, how many books can you write without being accomplished? I mean, being a president is an accomplishment, I will say, but past presidents didn't need to write 3 memoirs and counting, the last 2 being 700 pages. But what I think is happening is legacy drift, or importance drift. What I mean by that is D. Ray has a whole ass memoir. All 3 Black Lives Matter women have memoirs, and they haven't even finished the whatever struggle they're going for. The guy from BuzzFeed has a memoir. Saeed Jones, like Amanda Seales has a memoir about what, I don't know. But everybody's got a memoir now. If you're a social justice influencer, you get a quick book deal. I mean, it's content. It's not a work. None of these things is going to be the autobiography of Ben Franklin or some great lasting work. They all end up in the clearance section in like 6 months anyway. They're just content. They're just there to keep the brand hot or whatever. But yeah, it's just all content. But what happens is, if you want to be important now and the most important guy in the room, just getting a book is not enough, because everyone gets a book. Everyone gets one. They just give him out. It's like Oprah. You get a book deal. You get a book deal. You get a memoir. You're out for a couple of months. That crazy girl that was breaking down, that new activist at the police meeting that we were talking about, who acts like an agent, and I forget her name, but she's always doing agent stuff. She's gonna get a book deal soon, guarantee you. Yeah, yeah. So I think that almost makes him have to have 2 700-page books to stand out, because otherwise he'll just be like everyone else. Oh, I believe the Erase spoke at Microsoft 2 years ago. He went to the Aspen Institute. Once you go to the Aspen thing, then everything else is for you. Those who don't know what Aspen ideas is, it's the most neoliberal, crazy TED Talkish kind of thing you've ever seen. It's really interesting. And Black Agenda Report has a good report. Like, he did this. If you want to find it, go to Black Agenda Report. Made man in a blue vest, DeRay McKesson is debutante at Aspen 1%ers coming out party. And that's like for the creme de la creme tech, new money, rich people type of things. A social event where 1%ers showcase their current crop of thought leaders. It's like a debutante ball. Like the thought leaders and people that the 1%ers are most enamored by, get invited out. And yeah, so the Aspen Institute flies you to Colorado for the weekend to rub shoulders with the elites, hands you that honorarium check, and lauds you as a example of up and coming leadership. And when that happens, it means you're in. If it's your first time, and last weekend was DeRay McKesson's first time at Aspen, it's your debutante ball, marking your coming out, or maybe going in among the 1%ers. Aspen signifies that your bones are made, your reservation is confirmed, and you are officially a made man. So he spoke on the Black Lives Matter panel, did panel appearances on rebuilding trust between police and communities in America. communities of color, and what the 2016 election is teaching us about a changing America. So yeah, I mean, once you do that, you're pretty made. So that probably made him a lot of connections to speak at Microsoft and all the other places. Like once that happened, that puts you on everybody's radar. So I'm sure he's been to Microsoft and a ton of other things after being there, you know? Yeah, I'm very sure. And just on a hunch, I just checked just to be sure. Didn't even know this. I literally just thought about it 10 seconds ago, and I checked, and yes, I knew it. Aspen Institute, Ibram Kendi, Aspen Ideas to Go. Yeah, so he has been there to 2019. Okay, so yeah, there was a book talk with him, um, how to be an anti-racist. So yeah, he's doing good. He's got this. He was at the Aspen Institute. There's a video there. He got 10 million from Jack. He got the Netflix deal, so it's I mean, I think racism is about to be over, y'all. It's about to be stopped. And that's a good thing. I can't complain, just I mean, I thought it was already going to be over with Biden gone, but this will help it be even more over. So, I mean, we're fighting it on multiple fronts. Orange Man's at the White House. I don't know, actually. I don't know. One of his talks was defining the racist bone. That's crazy. I didn't know about that one. Yeah, yeah. We mentioned this a couple of days ago, Red Shrek. His books were optioned by Netflix. Yeah, they're starting with I think his first one, Stamped, and it might be good. It may be good. Who knows? Well, actually, by Netflix, so I don't know. I don't really like much of what Netflix does, to be honest. But I mean, who knows? Because the reason I say it might be good is because that's the book that people say was good. I mean, I'm sure eventually it's going to be Anti-Racist Baby, the TV series. Like, I'm sure it's going to decline in quality, but maybe that one is going to be good. The one based on his first book, since that's the one. Like, even the people I know who disagree with the premise of that book or the conclusion of that book say that they think it's a good book. They just disagree with it. Whereas some of the other ones, people have told me, "Oh, we straight up don't even like that book." Period. Uh, so some more things that came up with that I remember when I was reading this Obama book that I'm going to mention now are as follows. But before we go there, oh, um, ADOS Truth dropped a comment. Yeah, Black Agenda Report with Glenn Ford is solid. Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, and we showed up per hashtag MES. Yes. Media engagement strategies. Good people. Everyone should check them out. Media engagement solutions. My bad, but for real, anti-racist boss baby. Real quick thing. Hit the super chat if you're enjoying the stream. The usual house cleaning I haven't done. If you like the value we bring, the perspectives, and different alternative ideas that we kind of bring to the fore, and you want to show us support, you can always hit the super chat if you're enjoying the stream, and we'll also highlight your comment for sure on the screen if you do so. You can hit us at PayPal at champagnesharks@gmail.com, or you can hit us at Venmo or Cash App at Champagne Sharks. And the other option, we're going to have that stuff floating on the screen down there, but the other option, if you can't do any of that, also, you can go to champagnesharks.com and check out our Amazon wish list. A lot of people have been asking for it. Thanks, Rock the Mic, for giving us those books and the laptop stand, things that help us do the show. The books were for people that we wanted to interview on the show and things we wanted to research. So, yeah, Rock the Mic already started buying stuff off of that. But last thing, if you don't have anything to contribute, then just like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're in the room on Twitch or YouTube, just hit like, share it with your friends, send them a link to this. All of that helps. And yeah, I don't really want to watch this, the Coast documentary looks really cheesy, but if y'all want to hate watch it, I'm not going to stop you. Yeah, yeah. But again, thanks to ADO's Truth for the contribution, and thanks Media Engagement Solutions for the support. And this was what I was going to now. Um, so Obama doing his usual influencer stuff. Check this out. Tell me if the sound.
She doesn't know she's up.
What's this? Being the president takes a lot of hard work and sacrifice. But one of the most rewarding parts of the job was traveling these United States and meeting the great people that make up this country. From farmers in Iowa to auto workers in Detroit to retired auditors from Temple Hills, Maryland. The retired auditors are actually my favorite. They were always coming up to me and saying things like, "Oh my God, Barack, I love you. My name is Joyce Taylor." Joyce, was that a pretty good impression of you? Hey, Joyce, what's going on? How are you?
Yeah, yeah. And so he's there, he's reading his own book, and he's you know, reaching out to his fans and everything. And it's such a like celebrity stunt. And I mean, I don't know, he's promoting this book pretty hard. I wonder how it did too, because I haven't heard much about him recently. He hasn't been promoting it that hard as he was before. Oh, I had a link here about he was talking about black men yet again, but the person deleted the tweet. So it was about something he said recently about black men in hip hop. At least I could find another alternative. Yeah, okay. This is what he said. I found another person. Um oh, thank you very much, Red Shrek. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Kelvin Best on. Oh, I remember Kelvin Best. I follow Kelvin Best on Twitter. I remember. I think he has a football icon on this thing. Is that you, Red Shrek? Is that you, Kelvin Best? I hope you're doing okay. Check this out. Atlanta Black Star. Obama triggers debate after arguing the black male vote increased for Trump because of hip hop. Hypocrite, just like the rest of him. Former U.S. President Barack Obama likened hip hop's values to those of Donald Trump during a lengthy interview published on Monday, November 16th. The 44th president sat down with the Atlantic to discuss his memoir and the state of American politics. During the talk, Obama weighed in on the amount of black men who voted for Trump. He argued the values pushed by hip hop are like those promoted by Trump. It's interesting. People are writing about the fact that Trump increased his support among black men in the 2020 presidential election. And the occasional rapper who supported Trump, Obama said, I have to remind myself that if you listen to rap music, it's all about the bling, the women, the money. A lot of rap videos are using the same measures of what it means to be successful as Donald Trump is. Everything's gold plated. That insinuates itself and seeps into the culture. Based on recent headlines leading up to election day, and so forth. Yeah. So basically, it comes down to wagging his finger at black people in hip hop. Somehow that's responsible for Trump and black men who voted for Trump like a whopping like what 12%, I think, like by far the second highest group voting against Trump. Yeah, so again, not surprising. I don't know what any of that has to do with his book. I don't know why bad mouthing black men has to do with the book at all, but what can you do? Terrible. Yeah. Says the man who just bought an $11 million house. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, the Amazon wish list. Go to champagnesharks.com and you'll see the a link for the Amazon wish list. But in our last couple of videos, it's there too. When you put up the description for this video, it'll be there. But yeah, yeah. But I mean, I was so pissed off with that. Why did he have to do that? Was that really necessary? Um, I mean, he's still signaling like he's one of the good ones. It's very annoying. And again, like I saw all these before, and I didn't really think too much about them. But when I saw when I didn't think too much about them. But when I was reading this book, and it was so like narcissistic and doing his usual stuff, it reminded me of all the things I recently seen him do that bothered the hell out of me. And that was one of them. That was definitely one of them. Okay. What else? What else? Um, by the way, we're giving away copies of a movie soon. We talked about it yesterday, but sign up if you want to follow us on Twitter or YouTube if you want to be part of the movie giveaway where we give away digital codes to the movies called Tasmanian Devil. And I won't repeat what it's all about. We talked about it. For people who want to know about the wish list, um, either way, what you can do is if you if you refresh this page, I think it'll actually it won't. I thought I could edit this page on the fly. Hold on. If you refresh this page on YouTube, you'll see in the description the wish list and all the other stuff will pop up. Yeah, but yeah, he is oh yeah, so that is you, Retrek. Good. You good people. Yeah. So what's the last thing I'm gonna this is the last thing that I remembered. And these are all things that came out around the time he was promoting the book. This is not just cherry picking over years. This is in the November when the book came out. This is all the stuff. And here is one last thing. I'm sure there's more things out there, but this is stuff I remembered because this was in the book. Barash brushed off reparations because he was worried about white people. If I ever have children, I will let them know how garbage President Obama was. And this person um, put up these clips from the book. So he goes, meanwhile, there were activists and intellectuals who supported me but viewed my campaign in purely symbolic terms, akin to earlier races mounted by Shirley Chisholm, Jesse Jackson, and Al Sharpton, a useful transitory platform from which to raise a prophetic voice against racial injustice. Unconvinced that victory was possible, they expected me to take the most uncompromising positions on everything from affirmative action to reparations and were continually on alert for any hints that I might be spending too much time and energy courting middle of the road less progressive white folks. Don't be one of those so-called leaders who take the black vote for granted, a supporter told me. I was sensitive to the criticism, for it wasn't entirely wrong. A lot of Democratic politicians did take the black voters for granted, at least since 1968, when Richard Nixon had determined that a politics of white racial resentment was the surest path to Republican victory and thereby left black voters with nowhere else to go. It was not only white Democrats who made this calculation. There wasn't a black elected official who relied on the white voters, who relied on white votes to stay in office, who wasn't aware of what Axe, Plouffe, and Gibbs were at least implicitly warning against. That too much focus on civil rights, police misconduct, or other issues considered specific to black people risk triggering suspicion, if not a backlash, from the broader electorate. You might decide to speak up anyway, as a matter of conscience, but you understood there'd be a price, that blacks could practice the standard special interest politics of farmers, gun enthusiasts, or other ethnic groups only at their own peril. Of course, that was part of the reason I was running, wasn't it? To help us break free of such constraints, to reimagine what was possible. I wanted to be neither a supplicant, always on the periphery of power and seeking favor from liberal benefactors, nor a permanent protester full of righteous anger as we waited for white Americans to expiate in guilt. Its guilt. Both paths were well trodden. Both, at some fundamental level, were born of despair. No, the point was to win. I wanted to prove to blacks, to whites, to Americans of all color that we could transcend the old logic, that we could rally a working majority around a progressive agenda of what we could place issues like inequality or lack of educational opportunity at the very center of the national debate and then actually deliver the goods. So he says he delivered the goods. I knew that in order to accomplish that, I needed to use language that spoke to all Americans and propose policies that touched everyone, to lift all boats policies. He's still sticking to the I'm not the president of Black America, I'm the president of all America, even though no one said he had to be the president only for Black people. They just wanted him to give some attention to Black people. I needed to embrace white people as allies rather than impediments to change, and to couch the American struggle in terms of a broader struggle for a fair, just, and generous society. So he's still standing by the I gotta lift all boats. I'm the president of Black America, I'm the president of all America. Not my fault, etc. And if you look at the people who voted for him, it's overwhelmingly 95% Black. And look at the different numbers. The closest, I mean, more than any other Democrat in history, Black people voted like crazy for him. You know what I mean? And to still think he doesn't 95%, and he still thinks he doesn't owe them anything special. And so it is pretty it's all rationalization. This isn't just him just trying to rewrite his legacy, and all of it so many things seem particularly geared toward modern criticism. Like, it seems so written like he had a list of complaints people had about him recently, and he saw his legacy is in danger. And it's just it's very defensive. It's a very defensive book. And someone said it's like rationalizing selling out. Yeah, big time. That's a great way to put it, for sure. He's totally rationalizing selling out. But I mean, there's still some people, if you say anything about him, they will cut you. They do not want to hear it, So that's all the stuff he was doing promoting the book. Setting people up to cry and just fall all over themselves. He was having moments like Harry Styles with fangirls. He was having those moments, but with boomers. He blaming Black men not pulling their pants up and listening to too much hip hop for Trump, giving excuses about why he couldn't fight for anything because it was scare white people, and he's not the president of Black people. I mean, it's funny because that's pretty much like what Kamala Harris said. I'm not going to do something just for Black people, no. So same thing, but who cares? Because we come out and we show out for them the same. So why do they have to change? Silly to ask them to. But that's basically it. Thanks to everybody who came out, who supported, who hit us up, who liked the video. If you haven't liked it yet, please like it. Thanks to everyone who liked the video. Thanks for everybody who donated, contributed. We definitely appreciate that. And we'll be back tomorrow. We might have another video tonight even. I think the other guys might be doing one tonight. So be good. Take care. And is there anything I forgot to mention? I feel like I forgot to mention something. But you know what? I'm here every day. Oh, yeah. So Isound Info likes the new Champagne Sharks clips. Yeah. I mean, thanks to everyone who did them. The moderator of the Champagne Sharks Reddit did a couple of them. And some other people did some. If you want to do more of those, then go to Champagne Shark, make us a clip, put it in MP4 or MOV format or any other format that you know YouTube takes, and then email it to us in the form of a Dropbox or Google Drive link at champagnesharks@gmail.com. And um, you know, save it under a title name that describes what the video is about, so that we don't have to rewatch ourselves to refresh ourselves. Like, like you can say it's Vita talking about trauma, or Kenny talking racism in boxing. Put that in the file name. That makes it easier for us. But yeah, thanks. Everybody be good. And oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that, but not today. We're here every day, so we have time. All right. Take care, guys.